So in a conversation I've had with a commenter recently on my Monkey D. Dragon Will Awaken video, I came to the stunning realization that there are no powers in One Piece that turn their users into an actual dragon. No, the dragon fruits turn their user into a dragon, and the fish fruit model Azure Dragon does not turn its user into a dragon. In fantasy, we have many draconic types of creatures, but only one type is considered a dragon. A dragon, in the traditional sense, is considered a reptilian creature with 4 limbs and a pair of wings. None of the devil fruits that we've seen so far turn their user into something like that. So, the draconic types of creatures so far that exist in fantasy are a worm, which is a serpentine creature, a lindworm, which is a serpentine creature with 2 limbs. Then we have a wyvern, a draconic creature with wings and 2 limbs. Then we have an amphitheater. An amphitheater is a serpentine creature with wings. Then we have a drake, which is just a 4-limbed reptilian creature with no wings. So, in the terms of every dragon fruit that we've seen so far, all of them except for King, otherwise known as Albert, are drakes. Meaning OT with the dragon fruit model Pachycephalosaurus. She is a drake. The dragon fruit model Allosaurus, held by X Drake. He too is a drake, which makes sense because his name is literally Drake. Then we have fruits, say, like the dragon fruit model Petrodon. Well, a Petrodon in this context would be considered a wyvern. But then going over to the mythical dragon fruit model Kirin, the Kirin, even though it's a bit of a chimeric creature, it too would be mostly considered a drake because in popular culture, they are simply 4-limbed creatures with no wings. And from what we've seen from Killingham so far, he appears to be able to become a 4-limbed creature with no wings. But then when you get into the users of the fish fruit model Azure Dragon, meaning Kaido and Momonosuke, who has a clone of the fruit, they too are considered drakes, just really, really long drakes, because they too are 4-limbed creatures who are held aloft in the air by the flame cloud rings around their arms. So yes, there are no dragon fruits that turn their user into an actual dragon. That is why I am so hard pressed on Monkey D. Dragon being the only devil fruit user that we know in the series who can become an actual dragon. And my thinking is that based on what we know about dragons so far in One Piece, even going all the way back to monsters, dragons in the traditional sense do exist because we see Ryuma fight one, and then we see dragons 13 and 21 during the Punk Hazard arc because Vegapunk brought them back through some means. So with that being said, and seeing as how Monkey D. Dragon is so close to Vegapunk, it could be that Dragon was responsible for bringing back dragons because we know smile fruits are created through the lineage factor of animals. So maybe Vegapunk created dragons through Monkey D. Dragon's lineage factor to become a dragon. That's a stretch, but I don't think that's too impossible. Now, with that being said, again, it's very interesting that in all forms of dragon that we've seen in One Piece, this species of animal does have the ability to breathe fire. So it's likely that based on the animal being extinct, the dragon fruit model dragon is probably considered an ancient Zoan. It could be a normal Zoan, but by how they've been described so far, the context is reading that it's more likely that the dragon fruit model dragon would technically be an ancient Zoan. Now, the funny part about this is that the dragon fruit model Brachiosaurus, as well as all the other fruits that turn their users into dinosaurs, technically shouldn't be ancient Zoans because we've seen that dinosaurs do exist on Little Garden. So it's weird that they too are considered ancient Zoans, even though the species that they represent isn't technically extinct. But I guess by and large, they are considered extinct. So that's why they're all considered ancient Zoans. So by that logic, the dragon fruit model dragon would be an extinct creature as well, which would then label it as an ancient Zoan. With that being said, Give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede. What's it?